We're next going to hear from Patty Maxin. I want to just tell you a little bit about Patty. Patty's husband, Mike, died from cholangiocarcinoma. And we had, we knew that we needed the CholangioConnect program because we knew that other programs that were more national, maybe even global, were not meeting the need for our patients. They had some unique things that they needed help with. And so we knew we needed to connect mentors and mentees. And we had the bones of the project put together, but we really did not have the bandwidth to do it. And Patty came on the scene and wanted to help and took over that program and has made it into an amazing program. So she's going to talk with you right now and share some of that program with her. We're so grateful to all that she has done. I want to also say that she's a board member. So we're so grateful for these volunteers who do so much.
Welcome to all of you who are with us today, either virtually or in person. My name is Patty Maxin, and I am one of the program managers for CholangioConnect. Thank you for your time in allowing me to explain its mission and the purpose of the program. CholangioConnect is an example of one of the volunteer programs exclusive to this foundation. The intent of this service is to help foster relationships within the community. It provides a support to one another. This is a place where patients and their caregivers have the opportunity to engage in confidential and informative conversations. They are able to have advice from others who have had their own experiences. They receive that from our mentors. Those mentors are our heroes. They give so much of themselves. Recent data showed that CholangioConnect mentors donated over 62% of the total volunteer hours. This was from a report that the foundation took from the last quarter of 2021. This program is well represented, and we are beyond grateful. Their hearts touch the world. Now, I may have a small bias here, but a very humbling aspect of this program is having the opportunity to learn from humanity's best. Our volunteers are people who make you want to be a better person. One of the first volunteers, Jeff Bartel, sent this quotation with his application. He shared that these words were part of his motivation to be involved. The service we render to others is really the rent we pay for our room on earth. It is obvious that man is himself a traveler, that the purpose of this world is not to have and to hold, but to give and to serve. There can be no other meaning. I suspect that most everyone listening realizes that outside of this community, the circle of friends understanding this carcinoma is relatively small. Such thoughts only reinforce the loneliness that may accompany this rare cancer. You know, in our current environment, with a pandemic as a backdrop for the past 2 years, I speculate that these feelings only become more intense. Following a diagnosis of this disease in normal times, patients and their loved ones are often feeling overwhelmed. They quickly recognize that there are few people who have knowledge about what was just discovered, and that is why we are here. CholangioConnect was created to inspire hope. Its focus is to offer patients and their caregivers the opportunity to seek mentorship. They are able to receive emotional support about questions that they may have from people who have been in a similar situation. Mentors are volunteers. They are survivors. They are caregivers. They are patients. They are family members with their own experience. They are often navigating their own difficulties, and yet They find it within themselves to help others with similar challenges. Marcia Goldstein, a cholangiocarcinoma patient, explains it this way. CholangioConnect has afforded me the opportunity to listen to the experiences of peers dealing with cholangio and share mine, as well as trying to inject a positive message and attitude along with some guidance. Our mentors take on many roles, but being a good listener is probably the most important. Few do this better than Tom Lightsky. He does a phenomenal job in facilitating relationships around the globe and creating meaningful friendships. I have been active with CholangioConnect for several years now, and am amazed with some of the relationships that have developed, writes Tom. When I had a major metastatic spread last year, it was heartwarming to have some of the families I was mentoring reach out to me. We are all in this together. And what I hear the most is that they are glad to have someone that can that they can talk with, that understands what they are going through. Mentees are most appreciative with the concern and compassion inherent in our volunteers. A letter was penned by Mr. Asli Azdemir from Istanbul, and with his permission, I am going to share a few excerpts. In August of 2017, my dad was diagnosed with a Klatskin tumor. He was unable to have the Whipple procedure because of the metastasis. We were told nothing could be done. That is when I began to research and found the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation. I filled out the form and was responded to immediately by my dearest mentor. I thought I was pretty lucky because he was a wonderful person. He was very understanding, always by my side, giving advice and positive vibrations, not only for the year until I lost my father, but afterwards while I have been grieving. He even made a connection for me with a new friend in Bulgaria whose mother was suffering from the same. He has been an elder brother to me. I really do not know how I could have survived being an only child. I am grateful to the CCF and forever in my debt to my mentor. Thank you for your words, Mr. Ozdemir. What a beautiful tribute to Tom Lightsky. Thank you, Tom. Mwah. Marcia, Tom, and Mr. Ozdemir are part of the idea that was conceived by Sarah and Andy Macias. Sarah was diagnosed in 2015. The reality that few people had ever heard of this specific cancer fast became an obstacle in their finding support. They envisioned a vehicle that would be unrivaled in the world of this disease, a comprehensive network of people affected with biliary cancer. The foundation has been the catalyst for realizing their dream. CholangioConnect was born. The inauguration of the program was in July of 2017. With the exception of Antarctica, connections are found on every continent. 2021 was an incredible year for us. We celebrated our 500th connection, and it seemed as if we had just turned around when number 600 closed out our December. I know that Claire shared this with you in the earlier presentation, but I felt it was important for you to see it again. The bar illustrates the growth we have experienced in the past 4.5 years. And our January of 2022 has already outpaced where we were last year. This showcases our desire to recruit new volunteers. And as I talk with you today, a part of the message is we genuinely need your help. You know, you might be questioning if you are even capable of being a mentor, but many of you do this without your even knowing. How many times have you listened to another person as they shared their struggle? If it is specific to your situation, How many times have you directed them to resources you personally found beneficial? Most of you do this each time you have an opportunity to share it with another. We are a family of sorts. We are bonded together by hardships, by love, and a common diagnosis. With each other, we grow, laugh, encourage, celebrate, and yes, we grieve. Arthur Ashe encourages us to volunteer. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. It would be an honor to have you as part of our Cholangio connection. And the process is relatively easy. There have been some updates to the website, so I will show you one of the new pathways. Once you open the site, scroll across the top to where it says Get Involved. Look for the drop down that will take you to Volunteer with CCF. You will complete a general application that is for the foundation. On it, you will have the opportunity to indicate your wish to become a mentor for CholangioConnect. Once everything has been cleared with CCF, you will be notified and asked to complete a few additional items unique to this program. Cindy Thomas or I will reach out to you to make certain there are no questions, and then you will be ready to go. But rest assured, we will only facilitate a match when we have been given the go-ahead by you. When a mentee application is received that seems compatible with your profile, Cindy or I will reach out to make sure you are available before we send the request your way. You know, for patients especially, life is not always wonderful. Or as my husband used to say, not every day is Christmas. As patients become more educated, their asks have been more specific. Do you have the IDH1 mutation? Are you a transplant candidate? What trials have you tried? This illustrates another reason why we appreciate and need more volunteers. Some of our volunteers are researchers, others are listeners. We benefit from both. We will meet you where you are. You might be in a situation where you only have time for one mentee, and that would be fantastic, for that is one more person not feeling so alone. As I paraphrase this slide, please recognize you are only one, but you are one. You cannot do everything, but you can do something. And you will not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can. The stories are poignant. The lives touched are many. The value of this program is indescribable. It's most obvious when those who were mentored choose to be on the other side of that call, when the mentee becomes the mentor. Allow me to share the story of Jessica Thomas. In her words, a diagnosis of cholangiocarcinoma comes with the weird dichotomy that your world both expands and shrinks at the same time. Life becomes about staging, scans, chemo, fear, hope, love, despair, clinical trials, mutations, and the acute awareness that life is sweet, despite and maybe because of the walk with cholangiocarcinoma. I was 36 when my 35-year-old triathlete husband was diagnosed with intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. Our two kids were 2 and 4. One day he just woke up yellow, and a word I never heard quickly became a major part of our everyday vocabulary. I reached out for a mentor through CCF and was initially paired with a gentleman whose 45-year-old wife was going through the same challenges. Although we briefly connected, I really found my mentor in a woman who experienced this with her husband. She gave me love. She gave me information that nobody else could or would speak to me about directly, and she gave me hope. Jeff died 8 months after his diagnosis, and I knew I wanted to help others with his Heather's going through the same thing. I wanted them to know my experiences as well as his. I reached out to the foundation to be a mentor for other caregivers. Now I consider it one of my life's privileges that 5 people let me walk with them as they navigate therapies, feelings, parenting, and all the ups and downs that go with the word cancer. Although I have never met most of my mentees face to face, I have to say that I love them and we are bonded in a special way through the solidarity that comes with going through something so profound. And that gentle man I was originally paired with, Mike Griffith, well, we've been in a relationship for about a year. We share stories of our late spouses, and our kids talk about mommy and daddy in heaven. We laugh and cry about the stories of driving to the University of Chicago and share the same fond memories of walking with those doctors through the most difficult time in our lives. And Mike has said, that life was good. This one is too. The mentor mentee relationship has been one of my life's great joys. It not only has brought me hope through dark times, but lifelong friends and a new partner. Indeed, this is a good life. And now I would personally like to add a postscript to Jessica's story. Jessica Thomas and Mike Griffith are planning a summer wedding. The quintessential connection, indeed.